Ancient Egypt, a civilization renowned for its grandeur and advancements, held a unique place for women in its societal structure. This ancient civilization, with its towering pyramids and intricate hieroglyphs, was not just a land of pharaohs and gods, but also a realm where women could wield significant power and influence. Unlike many other ancient cultures, Egyptian society recognized and, to a significant degree, embraced the contributions of women in various spheres of life. Women in Egypt were not merely passive figures, they were active participants in the cultural, economic, and political arenas. Their roles were diverse and multifaceted, reflecting a society that valued their input and presence. From the royal courts to the bustling marketplaces, women in ancient Egypt enjoyed a level of autonomy and influence that was exceptional for their time. They could own property, initiate divorce, and engage in business transactions. This autonomy was not just limited to the elite. Even women from lower social strata had rights and opportunities that were unheard of in many other ancient civilizations. While men were far from relegated to the shadows. They could become priestesses, manage estates, and even rule as pharaohs in certain circumstances. The influence of women extended beyond the household, permeating various aspects of public life. The evidence suggests that they were active participants in the economic, religious, and even political landscapes. Women like Hatshepsut and Cleopatra are prime examples of female leaders who left an indelible mark on history. Their reigns were characterized by prosperity, architectural achievements, and diplomatic endeavors. This essay delves into the lives of these remarkable women, exploring their roles, rights, and the indelible mark they left on history. We will examine the legal rights they possessed, the economic activities they engaged in, and the religious roles they fulfilled. By understanding their contributions, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity and richness of ancient Egyptian society. The societal structure of ancient Egypt was inherently hierarchical, with the pharaoh at the apex, followed by nobles, priests, scribes, and commoners. Despite this rigid hierarchy, women found ways to assert their presence and influence. Ingenuity, carving out spaces for themselves in various domains. However, within each social stratum, women held positions of respect and responsibility. Whether as wives, mothers, or professionals, they contributed to the social fabric of their communities. Their roles were not confined to the domestic sphere. They were educators, healers, and artisans, each contributing to the vibrancy of Egyptian life. They managed households, raised children, engaged in crafts and trade, and participated in religious ceremonies. Women were often involved in weaving, pottery, and other crafts, producing goods that were essential for both daily life and trade. Their participation in religious ceremonies underscored their spiritual significance and their integral role in maintaining the cultural and religious traditions of Egypt. Their contributions were not merely tolerated, but were seen as essential to the stability and prosperity of the kingdom. The economic activities of women, from managing estates to running businesses, played a crucial role in the overall economy. Their involvement in religious practices helped sustain the spiritual well-being of the society. This essay aims to shed light on the multifaceted lives of women in ancient Egypt, celebrating their resilience, ingenuity, and enduring influence. By exploring their stories, we honor their legacy and recognize the vital role they played in shaping one of history's most remarkable civilizations. Their resilience in the face of challenges, their ingenuity in various fields, and their enduring influence continue to inspire and captivate us today. The pinnacle of female power in ancient Egypt was embodied in the queens and, even more remarkably, the female pharaohs who ruled with the same authority as their male counterparts. These women held the highest positions in the land, commanding armies, enacting laws, and shaping the destiny of the civilization. One of the most celebrated female pharaohs was Hatshepsut, who ruled Egypt for over 2 decades during the 15th century BCE. Hatshepsut's reign was marked by peace and prosperity, and she is credited with expanding trade routes and commissioning ambitious building projects, including her magnificent mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahri. Another powerful queen was Nefertiti, the wife of Akhenaten, who initiated a religious revolution in ancient Egypt. Nefertiti's beauty was legendary, but she was also a shrewd political strategist and played an active role in her husband's reign. Her image is preserved in countless statues and reliefs, attesting to her enduring influence. These powerful women challenged traditional gender roles and demonstrated that women were capable of ruling a vast and complex empire just as effectively as men. Their reigns serve as a testament to the high regard in which women were held in ancient Egyptian society. Religion permeated every aspect of life in ancient Egypt, weaving itself into the very fabric of daily existence. From the grandest of temples to the humblest of homes, the divine was ever present, guiding and influencing the lives of the people. Women played a vital role as priestesses, serving as intermediaries between the gods and the people. They were revered and respected, their positions of power and influence recognized by all. These priestesses were entrusted with the sacred duty of maintaining the balance of the cosmos, a task of immense importance in a society that believed in the interconnectedness of all things. Priestesses were highly respected figures, entrusted with conducting rituals, interpreting divine messages, and ensuring that the will of the gods was understood and followed. Their wisdom and insight were sought after by many. They also took on the responsibility of caring for the temples, ensuring that these sacred spaces remained pure and holy. The temples were not just places of worship, but also centers of learning and community. One of the most important deities in the Egyptian pantheon was Isis, a goddess whose influence extended far beyond the borders of Egypt. She was a symbol of the divine feminine, embodying qualities that were revered and aspired to. Isis was the goddess of magic, motherhood, and healing. Her powers were vast and varied, and she was called upon in times of need and crisis. Her stories and legends were passed down through generations, each one adding to her mystique and allure. Often depicted as a beautiful woman wearing a crown with a solar disk, Isis's image was a common sight in temples and homes alike. The solar disk symbolized her association with the sun god Ra, highlighting her importance in the pantheon. This association with Ra further emphasized her role as a powerful and benevolent force, one that could bring light and life to the world. Priestesses of Isis were highly sought after for their healing abilities. They were believed to possess the knowledge and power to cure ailments and bring comfort to those in distress. Their knowledge of magic and rituals was unparalleled, and they were often called upon to perform ceremonies that required great skill and precision. These rituals were not just acts of faith, but also demonstrations of their deep understanding of the divine. Another prominent female deity was Hathor, a goddess whose influence was felt in many aspects of daily life. She was a symbol of joy and celebration, and her presence was a source of comfort and happiness. Hathor was the goddess of love, beauty, and music. Her temples were places of joy and festivity, where people came to celebrate and give thanks. Associated with joy, celebration, and fertility, Hathor's influence was seen in the many festivals and ceremonies held in her honor. These events were marked by music, dance, and a sense of community. Her temples were centers of music, dance, and festivity where people gathered to celebrate life and give thanks for the blessings they had received. Priestesses of Hathor were often skilled musicians and dancers, their talents adding to the joy and celebration of the festivals. They played an important role in these events, their performances a testament to their devotion and skill. These priestesses were not just performers, but also spiritual leaders, guiding the community in their worship and celebration. Their presence was a reminder of the divine, and their actions a reflection of their faith. The roles of priestesses extended beyond the confines of the temples. They were integral members of the community, their influence felt in many aspects of daily life. They were involved in educating young girls, passing on their knowledge and wisdom to the next generation. This education was not just about religious practices, but also about life skills and values. Providing counsel to the community, priestesses were often sought after for their advice and guidance. Their wisdom was respected, and their opinions valued. They also administered to the sick and needy, their compassion and care a reflection of their devotion to the gods. Their actions were a testament to their faith, and their presence a source of comfort and support. Their spiritual authority and social influence made them integral members of ancient Egyptian society. They were not just religious leaders, but also community leaders, their roles and responsibilities extending far beyond the walls of the temples. The lives of women in ancient Egypt were as diverse as the roles they played. From the bustling marketplaces to the serene temples, women were integral to the fabric of society. While queens and priestesses held positions of power and influence, The majority of women were engaged in the daily activities of running households, raising children, and contributing to the economic well-being of their families. These women, though not always in the limelight, were the backbone of their communities, ensuring that daily life ran smoothly. Within the home, women were responsible for managing the household, preparing meals, weaving cloth, and raising children. Their skills in weaving and cooking were not just domestic chores but were considered essential crafts that contributed to the household's prosperity. Egyptian society placed a high value on family, and mothers were revered for their nurturing and guidance. The role of a mother was seen as sacred, and their influence extended beyond the home, shaping the values and future of the next generation. Children were considered a blessing, and both boys and girls were educated, though to varying degrees. Boys often received more formal education, preparing them for roles in administration or priesthood, while girls were taught skills that would help them manage households and contribute economically. While domestic duties occupied a significant portion of their time, many women also engaged in activities outside the home. They participated in religious ceremonies, social gatherings, and even political events, showcasing their multifaceted roles in society. They worked as weavers, brewers, bakers, and merchants, contributing to the economic prosperity of their communities. These roles were not just jobs, but were seen as vital contributions to the community's well-being and sustainability. Women were also involved in agriculture, helping to cultivate crops and tend livestock. Their work in the fields was crucial, ensuring that their families and communities had enough food and resources to thrive. Despite their many responsibilities, women in ancient Egypt enjoyed a degree of personal freedom that was unusual for their time. They could travel, engage in business, and participate in social and religious activities, reflecting a society that valued their contributions. They could own property, enter into contracts, initiate divorce proceedings, and represent themselves in court. These legal rights provided them with a sense of autonomy and control over their lives, which was rare in ancient civilizations. Their legal rights and economic opportunities provided them with a level of autonomy that was virtually unheard of in other ancient civilizations. This autonomy allowed them to navigate their lives with a sense of independence and confidence, contributing to a society that was both dynamic and progressive for its time. Women also played significant roles in religious and spiritual life. They served as priestesses and participated in rituals and ceremonies which were essential to the cultural and spiritual fabric of ancient Egypt. Their involvement in these activities underscored the respect and reverence they commanded in society. In addition to their economic and domestic roles, women contributed to the cultural life of ancient Egypt. They were depicted in art and literature, celebrated for their beauty, wisdom, and strength. These cultural representations highlight the multifaceted nature of their contributions and the high regard in which they were held. Socially, women were active participants in community life. They attended social gatherings, festivals, and public events, where they could interact with others and build social networks. These interactions were crucial for maintaining the social cohesion and vibrancy of their communities. Professionally, women in ancient Egypt were not limited to domestic roles. They could be found in various professions, including medicine, where some women served as physicians. This professional diversity further illustrates the broad spectrum of opportunities available to them. Leadership was another area where women excelled. Queens and noblewomen often wielded significant influence, both politically and socially. Their leadership was not just symbolic, but had real impact on the governance and direction of the society. The legacy of women in ancient Egypt is well documented in historical records, which highlight their contributions and achievements. These records serve as a testament to their enduring impact on the civilization and provide valuable insights into their lives and roles. Modern scholars continue to study the lives of ancient Egyptian women, uncovering new insights and perspectives. This ongoing research helps us appreciate the complexity and richness of their experiences, ensuring that their stories are not forgotten. In conclusion, the women of ancient Egypt were multifaceted individuals who balanced work, family, and faith with grace and resilience. Their contributions were vital to the prosperity and cultural richness of their society, and their legacy continues to inspire us today.
Please support our channel, like, share, and subscribe. It's free.